All right, guys, it's kind of like this practice test out here. Number one gives you the zeros and wants to know what the function was. So first of all, write it with factors. So I'm trying here. Let's go f of x equals the negative 2 comes from x plus 2. The 3i comes from x minus 3i. The negative 3i comes from x plus 3i. Okay, now because these are conjugates, I'm going to multiply those first. I'm going to leave this x plus 2 alone for a second. And if we multiply conjugates, you do get x squared minus 9i squared, which is really x squared plus 9 because of the I squared. And I'm just going to do FOIL right there. And I'm going to get x cubed plus 2x squared plus 9x plus 18. I might have gone out of order right there just so I could get the degrees lined up, the exponents lined up in the right way. Number 2, a little bit quicker here. Degree 5, it says negative 2 is a 0 with multiplicity 2. So I'm going to start with the f of x again. Negative 2 comes from x plus 2. If it's multiplicity 2, that means it's squared. 4 comes from x minus 4, has multiplicity 1, doesn't need an exponent. And 2 comes from x minus 2. It says it has multiplicity 2, so that's squared. That's 5x's all together. We're good. Number 3. Suppose the polynomial has degree 5, which means it should have 5 zeros. And the zeros are 1/2, negative square root of 5, negative 4. I'll find the other ones. Okay, it gave me 3. There's 2 more. Remember, radicals always come in conjugates. Always come in conjugates. So you take the conjugate of negative square root of 5, which is positive square root of 5. Conjugate of negative 4i, which is positive 4i. And there you go. All right, number 4. Given that 4 is a 0. If it's a 0, that means if you plug it in, you will get 0 for your remainder. So let's check it out here. I bring the 1 down, multiply, add, and it is. It's a 0. Now, because the direction says find the other zeros, I'm going to take what I got down here, rewrite it, x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals 0. And you got 2 options here. It won't factor. So you got to decide, do you want to complete the square or do you want to do quadratic formula? I'm going to complete the square because the middle number's even. So move the 5 over. And you remember, you take half the middle, square, add to both sides. Half the middle is negative 1, square it, add it to both sides, and that's what you have. All right, that's negative 4 over there. Here, x minus 1 is negative 1 squared. Remember, whatever the half was always goes in your parentheses. Take the square root of both sides. The square root of negative 4 is 2i. Don't forget to take the I out first, then take the square root of 4. And to finish up, move the 1 over. Remember, the 1 goes in front of the plus or minus. 1 plus or minus 2i. Those are the other 2 zeros right there. Okay, number 5 says make a list of all the possible rationals. Don't forget, every number in the list is positive and negative. I just put a big plus or minus in the front. I'm putting the factors of 3 over the factors of 4. The factors of 3 are 1 and 3, so I put those over 1 first. The factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. So I'm putting the factors of 3 over 1, 2, and 4. So I'm going to put 1 over 2 and 3 over 2. Then I'm going to put 1 over 4 and 3 over 4. And that's all you do on that one, is just make a list and, see what happens. Number 6 says find all the zeros of that function. First thing we'll do again is make a list. So I'm putting all the factors of 27, which are 1, 3, 9, and 27, over all the factors of 2, which are 1 and 2. Plus or minus be 1, 3, 9, 27, and then 1/2. 3 halves, 9 halves, 27 halves. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to punch this into my calculator, the original function, and see where it crosses the x-axis. I'm looking for somewhere it crosses the x-axis that's also in my list. So I'm doing that right now, looking at it. Looks like it's going to be negative 3 halves, which is, it crosses somewhere between negative 1 and negative 2. And that negative 3 halves is really negative 1.5. So I'm going to try it and hope that it works. And remember, I want to know it works if I get a 0 for a remainder. So bring the 2 down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply. Yes, works out great. Again, I'm going to bring what I have down here on the bottom over here, 2x squared, 18x equals 0. Going to move the 18 over, divide by 2, and take the square root. And I'll take the square root. Okay, it's square root of negative 9. So I got to take out, first I got to do plus or minus. Take the I out first. And then the square root of 9 is 3. So I get plus or minus 3i. And don't forget, it says find all the zeros. Don't forget what we found first, the negative 3 halves. Okay, because it's degree 3 when we start, you should have 3 answers. All right, number 7, find the domain. The domain, remember, the denominator cannot equal 0, so I'm going to say the domain is all x such that x cannot equal -4. Close it up. That's all you got to do. Number 8, find the vertical asymptotes. Remember, the vertical asymptote, whatever makes the bottom 0, and you got to put x equals. So we're going x equals 5 and also x equals -7. Those are the vertical asymptotes. Number 9, horizontal asymptote. Remember, horizontal's got 3 rules. Make sure you know them. The first rule is if the top is bigger, top degree is bigger, there are none. If the degrees are the same, it's leading over leading. If the degree on the bottom is bigger, it's y equals 0. In this case, the degree on the bottom is 5, degree on top is 4, it's y equals 0. Number 10 says divide. You can do long division. In this case, you can do synthetic because that's x to the first power. As long as there's no exponents in there, you can do synthetic, which is much quicker. So I'm going 3, 2. Don't forget your 0 right there because you're missing the x squared. Bring the first number down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Now, don't just leave your answer like that. You got to write your answer out. Remember, we're going to start our final answer 1 degree less than we started. So I'm putting 3x cubed. That's a cube, by the way. Minus 4x squared plus 8x minus 12. And then I'm going to put the 15 over the x plus 2. Number 11, state the zeros and the multiplicity. It's already factored out for you. -2 is the first 0. It has a multiplicity 2 because the exponent is 2. 3 is the second one. It has a multiplicity 1. And the last one is -1, has a multiplicity 3 because the exponent is 3. Pretty easy right there. Now, 13, guys, I can't show you that because I can't show you my calculator. And to be honest, I didn't bring it home. I forgot. So hopefully you do left bound, right bound, find the zeros and the maximum. Do not worry about the range. I didn't mean to do that. Don't worry about the range. We're not going to do that tomorrow. So if you need help with that, come and see me sometime tomorrow before your test. I'll be at school very early. Number 13, solve it. Before you solve this thing, you need to isolate the radical. So I'm going to take the 1 to the other side. It gives me square root of x plus 3 equals x plus 1. Now that it's isolated, you can square both sides. If you square the left-hand side, the radical just goes away. Right-hand side is square, multiply together, double square. All right. Because I do have an x squared, I got to try to factor, so I'm taking everything over. I'm taking the x over, make it 1x, take the 3 over, becomes minus 3, which makes that minus 2. Factor that thing out, you get x plus 2, x minus 1. Get 2 answers, maybe. Remember, anytime you do a radical equation, you gotta check. If I take -2 and plug it in, it does not work. If I take the 1 and plug it in, it looks good. So 1 is the only solution there. Number 16, 2 bars, 2 answers, 2 bars, 2 answers. What I'm going to do first, I'm taking the 14 over. Gives me negative. Absolute value of x plus 4 is negative. Remember, don't take away the absolute value until you isolate. We're isolating this just like we did the radical. So divide by -1 to make the negative go away. Now, 2 bars, 2 answers. So I'm going to say x plus 4 is 9. X plus 4 is -9. Move the 4 over. If I do it here, that becomes a 5. If I do it over here, because it's minus 4, it becomes a -13. All right, there's your 2 answers. Number 17, find the vertex, find the axis, find whether it's max or min, find that value. Okay, so I keep saying this, but you all seem to like this way better for some reason. Negative b over 2a. So I'm going to go -6 over 2 times 3. And if I work all that out, it's -6 over 6, which is -1. So the a part of my answer, my vertex, is going to be -1 something. The way you find the something is you're going to take the -1, plug it in for all the x's over there. I'm doing that right now in my head. I'm getting, let's see, 3 minus 6. Yeah, I'm getting -2. Okay, that's the vertex. The axis is always x equals. Don't forget the x equals. And it's whatever the x coordinate of the vertex is. X is -1. Part C, is it a max or min? Because this parabola opens up, it opens up because that's a positive 3. That means it has a min. And the min is the y coordinate of the vertex, which is -2. All right, 2 more. 18, sorry. Getting ahead of myself. 18. Start out by factoring that denominator, which is x plus 3, x minus 3, and then telling what x cannot equal. When I get done, x cannot equal either -3 or +3, because that would make the denominator 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every term by the LCD, which is x plus 3, x minus 3, x plus 3, x minus 3, and one more time, x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, So my first term, the x minus 3's cancel. Okay, so take the 5 multiplied times x plus 3. So I'm getting 5 times x plus 3. The second term, the x plus 3's cancel. So I get negative 3 times x minus 3. And on my last term, everything cancels. I just get negative 2. Distribute the 5. Distribute the negative 3. And let's see what happens. 5x minus 3x is 2x. 15 plus 9 is 24. That's negative 2. Move the 24 to the other side. You get negative 26. Divide by 2. Negative 13. Guys, you need to check that. Just check and make sure it's not 3 or negative 3. And it's not, so that's it. Last one, number 19. Number 19, you can't leave an I in your denominator, so you got to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator, which is 3 plus 8i. 3 plus 8i. Denominator, they're conjugates, so I'm just going to do on the bottom. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 8 times positive 8 is negative 64. I squared. My numerator, I'm just going to distribute. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 8i is 40i. The I squared right here really makes that 64 become positive 64. So 73 in the denominator. Numerator is 15 plus 40i. Look and see if you can reduce it any. You can't. That's it. Guys, hope that helps some. Wear it out. Use the video. Let's make a great grade tomorrow. Y'all been doing great. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.